my name is Jess and I'm Operations Director at Bongo's Bingo. The co-founders both worked in events here. Johnny already been really popular amongst the kind of bar scene, doing his pub quizzes, which were like hugely successful. And obviously Josh doing club nights. I think when we first started, the reaction from people in Liverpool was just insane. We had people queuing around the corner. We had to turn 700 people away at points. We had no online ticketing system. It was £2 on the door, come and do it. I think what's been so amazing is that right from the beginning there was huge support from everyone all across the city. And what makes it so special now and what continues to make it so special in Liverpool is that they are part of our story, and everyone that came at the start, or even you don't need to have that I came at the start, I was there for the first show. It doesn't matter when it was, but I think people in Liverpool definitely feel like Bongo's Bingo is theirs, and it is. I think it was created here, it was made a success by people in Liverpool. That we've had so many shows here, thousands. So I think that's what makes it really special. I think it is the kind of love and attachment to the brand as well, being part of the success, being part of how it's grown, and seeing us all along the ways. Every single birthday that we've done, and now 8 years in. This year is our 8-year anniversary. We have got our biggest shows ever. We're doing ACC in Liverpool with Craig David, which is really exciting. So it's definitely the biggest acts we've done. It's the biggest capacity, it's the biggest production. We've got loads of things in store. We, for the first time ever, are kind of not doing a theme, but it's a birthday theme. So it's a celebration of every year of Bongos, all the prizes, the people. There's some kind of familiar faces coming back and things like that haven't been on stage for a while. So yeah, it's just going to be a huge show. So we're doing that over 2 days in Liverpool, 2 sellout shows, up to 3,500 people. So yeah, really, really excited for that. As part of that as well, we are giving away a trip to New York, which is going to be really exciting. And actually we're going to be doing the shows in New York. So that's kind of a bit of an exclusive. We went international as a business, I guess quite early on. We've done, lots of stuff in the UK. I think the whole team really is always looking for the new exciting thing. And we're just always kind of looking, what could we do? How could we be challenged? We started to get contacts from, different places in Amsterdam or France or Ibiza. And then we kind of set our hearts on, let's do all that, but let's also do Australia. Which was really, really exciting. Probably the most difficult project we've ever worked on. There are crazy gambling regulations, which we'd already gone through in the UK, but state to state they changed. So there's kind of this idea that we wanted to go into each different state, but with that, each of the rules had to change. So it was a huge team effort on, how do we change the show slightly to make that work. And yeah, those shows, we did 5 tours in total, I think, in Australia. Over a number of years. But that was definitely one of the kind of, this is us officially going away. We've done shows in Amsterdam regularly, Ibiza we've done seasons, we've done French shows in actual French, which, made it a little bit hard to quality control, but we did them for a bit. And now we're on the next venture, which is New York, and hopefully more of the US. As a business, we started as what we thought was just an event. We very quickly learned that we were a gambling business, which comes with its complications. So essentially, we did go through a bit of a crisis point where, we had to look at how we can tailor the event to ensure that it's compliant. And it's something that we just really hadn't considered, given the kind of prizes that we're giving away and like the low stakes and low ticket cost. So we spent a lot of time, and we still do, and now have a great relationship with the Gambling Commission. But we're basically a fully licensed operator, so we actually can operate anywhere with our license in any venue, which is why we have our own website with our own tickets. All the information at the shows, if you go, you might see kind of gambling information in the toilets or on the screens. So we work really, really hard on that, and it's definitely, it's been a barrier a lot of the time, but actually I think, we're in such good practice of it now, and I think in some ways it is actually a big benefit to the show too. As I mentioned, it does become a bit more complicated when we go to different places and everywhere has completely different gambling rules. Everyone defines it in a different way. So it's kind of, a lot of the research into new locations is how do they do gambling. So things like festivals, we can't do our format, and we have to edit that to make sure that we can actually do it officially and within the guidelines. We work in just over 40 venues in the UK. We've worked with some of them like right since the start. Albert Hall was our second ever venue. It's absolutely amazing. We work in Clapham Grand, Boiler Shop. We've just got so many. Those are some of our cores. SWG3 in Glasgow is an amazing venue we work in. We do an absolute insane amount of shows there, sometimes more than Liverpool, which is crazy. They're all unique, they're all amazing in their own way. Sometimes we do have challenges when it comes to how we can operate bingo. We always want to make sure it's as fun as possible for customers. So some of the kind of pinch points might be where someone's made a call, we want to make sure we get to them as quickly as possible. Or how do they even get down to the stage if they're going to do like a karaoke? So Clapham Grand, for example, you have to kind of weave around the venue and then get onto the stage. The guys have now perfected it to an art, but every time we go into a new venue, that's always something we look at, how quickly can people get to stage, how safely can people get to stage. Albert Hall, we've actually started doing daytime shows in there. It's something we never thought we'd be able to do because they've got huge windows. So we just thought that because of, the rave round, especially with, lights is such a big feature of that it wouldn't actually work, but sometimes they sell faster than our evening shows now. So all of our venues are incredible. I think one of the highlights for this year is going to be our first show in Outernet, in Soho in London. The production level is absolutely insane. They've got the biggest screen out of any of our venues. We're going to take, a lot of the crew down. Really, really excited for that. Lots of festivals. Snow Bombing and Rise are festivals which we've done for years, absolutely love doing. Mighty Hoopla is another one. We've got some really exciting bookings coming up. We're just keen to do them as much as possible. I guess one of the issues is just making sure that it's bongos, but it's not bingo. We've kind of perfected that now. We're looking forward to doing many more and hopefully a lot more in the future. So our ticket prices are really important to us. We have ticket price freezes quite a lot, year on year. Essentially, when we started this event, it was £2 on the door in Liverpool, and obviously the production and the prizes have grown, hugely since then. It's absolutely not the same show. It's got the same feel, it's got the same format, with tweaks, but we're always about value, and obviously in a lot of cities we do regular shows, sometimes weekly, twice weekly, and the thing is we want the building to be full. So our kind of model is keeping the ticket price as low as physically possible. So that might change based on capacity, but giving away as much as possible as well. So the proportion of what we give away versus the tickets, we always try and strike that balance to make sure that, if we do ever have to increase prices, it's giving that value to the customers. When it comes to student tickets, we're so keen on kind of introducing people to bingo, to Bongo's bingo. We want an audience that's lasting. When we started, we've got so many of the same people that came on the first shows. You go to each show and they kind of go, I was here at the first show, and they're still coming and they're bringing their friends, or they're bringing their, sisters or younger brothers, or, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of building this, fan base and allowing them to enter. But at the end of the day, if we increase our tickets too much, we would cut out some of the loyal fans that have been there all along, and we just want them to keep coming back. We would much rather have a full and happy venue than price it too high and change our fan base or audience altogether. We've definitely felt that costs have gone up. So we work very much like a partnership with all of our venues. So they support us a lot, and we try and support them as well. And it is a very much like 50-50 relationship, especially when it comes to the event. So definitely felt a lot that, how the venues are struggling, and how we are in our venue and content. Production is just gone insane, as has everything else, obviously energy, etc. That it does make it quite difficult. So, we've had a lot of negotiations with venues where, we're all trying to make it work for each other. And I think that is the most important thing that we do like to do. It's kind of, is this helping everyone? The customers, the venue, us, because, that's really, what we want. We want everyone to be happy, as long as everyone's, making what they need to make, and we can put amazing shows. But yeah, our shows that we're doing for the 8th birthday, the cost since we did the same show last year, we have added production on, but it's, it's like, it's crazy. It really is crazy. Our prizes at Bongo's Bingo have always been 2/3 physical prizes and 1/3 cash. So the physical prizes, there's been, a lot of different ones over the years, but there's definitely been the icons. We try and mix it up as much as possible, but when we've pulled some of the icons away, people are like, where's the unicorn? Where's the Cocoa Pop? So we've kind of got the core icons, as you say, which, Cocoa Pops, the unicorn, Henry Hoover, etc. But yeah, we do really like to switch it up, and we know that, people like to see different things. So we've started to introduce loads more themed shows, which means that we can, pick some of the elements out and, 90s show, for example, or we just did a country show, in August, which went down weirdly, amazingly well. But one of the really exciting things is that, I mentioned Henry Hoover then, we've actually got the most exciting project, I think, partnership we've ever worked on, which is a partnership with Pneumatic, and we have got an exclusive Bongo's Bingo Hoover from the workshop. It's bright pink, it's got Bongo's Bingo on it. We're going to release it this weekend, and there's going to be like 500 available at the shows that we can give away over the next few months. When we first heard about the pandemic and the potentials of what it might be, we actually took the decision to pull shows off earlier than we needed to. It was only by a few weeks. It was kind of a mix of, internal what we felt, but then also there was a few pressures from customers asking what was going on. So we decided to do that. Well, we postponed them and offered customers credit, and then the show team quickly got on to doing live streams, which was really fun, and went on for a while. Unfortunately, we got shut down by the Gambling Commission at one point because we were doing telephone bingo. There's no money involved, but it was still classed as bingo apparently. Quite a few months in, we had to really sadly let staff go, which was the hardest decision ever. But the aim was that we let them go temporarily. A lot of them have been furloughed for a while, and then we'd bring them back. But if we didn't let them go, then we wouldn't be back. Based on finances. So yeah, it was a really, really, really tough time, and it was kind of coming and going. What is the plan? Then when the kind of glimmer of hope came that social distancing might be able to happen, we definitely, dove straight into it. We had the luxury at our venue in Liverpool, Content, where we've got a large outdoor area. So we can kind of mark out how that might work outside, you know, where we're going to do bingo outside. We did a few social distancing festivals as well. And that was our first experience of how Bongo's Bingo might be able to work. We also did one in Knowsley, and they all went really well, and the crowd loved it. So coming back into venues then, it felt like we've already tried this outside, so actually we could actually do this inside. And at the end of the day, you've got to put your trust in the customers. You've got to, you know, let them know that they're here because they're willing to respect the rules, and if you can't respect the rules, then no one can be here. So, you know, the shows went amazingly, and then slowly but surely we could kind of open the floodgates again, and everyone was back. I think we were really surprised that there was so many people wanting to come back. We were worried that, you know, people would still be cautious, or there was also a lot of competition, a lot of new events started, either during the pandemic or just after, and you know, everyone had plans that they'd had to put on hold. So we thought, you know, maybe they won't come, but it was absolutely crazy, and yeah, we were blown away by how many people wanted to come, and it's been great. We've definitely felt a slower summer, which I think everyone across the industry has, but winter's looking great, so yeah, Christmas shows are selling really well already. We have our own venue in Liverpool, in Baltic Triangle, which we predominantly do Bongo's Bingo in. It was actually purpose-built for our show. We do also gigs there now as well. We have looked outside of Liverpool to, you know, see if we wanted to do the same model elsewhere. I think right now we're really focused on bingo shows, and we are, you know, kind of honing in a lot on quality and making sure that everywhere is matched wherever we are, you know, that all the venues and all of our show teams and all of our prizes and etc., that we're hitting that same quality no matter where it is. So looking at other venues outside of Liverpool has taken a bit of a backseat, but I guess you never know what we might do in the future. So Bongo's Bingo, I guess from the outside, is quite a wild event. It's quite different to others. You know, we've got furniture to compete with, and dancing on tables that, you know, a lot of customers do, and it's kind of been something that's been synonymous with us since the start. I guess essentially, you know, we have a lot of audience participation. We have a lot of audience members coming up on stage, so it is quite different to other shows. So there's a lot more risk involved. We've got an amazing team that work on it. I mean, every single prize has got sheets and sheets of risk assessments associated to it, down to the fact of, you know, what footwear is the customer wearing when they're going to get on the mobility scooter, for example. So yeah, I mean, our message is always, you know, we want to have safe, enjoyable fun. In terms of the benches and tables, we know that customers will get on them. We obviously advise against it, but what we have done is we've basically sourced what we feel through testing is the safest benches possible. So we've had loads of suppliers send us the trestle benches. We've done loads of tests, standing, you know, trying to hit them, all that kind of stuff. And we found a supplier which is amazing, and we've actually added a third leg in the centre as well for extra stability. So we do actually provide a lot of our venues with those benches, and essentially we just want to make sure people are as safe as possible. So if we know that they might get on there, you know, we'd rather give them a proper good quality bench than give them something which might potentially break if, you know, four people are stood on it. So that's just one of the things. Our relationship with NDML started just after the pandemic began. We were very lost with what to do, what we could do, and we saw a lot of guidance coming from them to people that they were already working with. So yeah, had the initial conversation, and it just made sense. I think, you know, the risk that comes with our show needs, you know, the best support possible, and that's definitely what we get with NDML, and Michael being my main contact. You know, we're always going back and forth, how we can make things work, for us, and how we can make things safe for the customers as well. It's not all just about protecting our business. It's like making sure that we're acting in the best way possible for the customers as well. We've never looked back, and everything since then has been great. We've had challenges along the way, but yeah, really, really good support network to work with. Changes to policy, I think, is definitely like a venue protection. Especially in Liverpool, there's been so many issues, not just Liverpool, but, we've kind of seen it with the venues in Liverpool closer, flats and, other buildings being stuck up right next to venues, and then the venues having to leave or having major restrictions placed on them that they can't operate. I just think it's ridiculous. I think that, we should be supporting venues. I mean, people benefit so much from venues, events, arts, culture, everything like that. So to pull that away from people, and the people that are going to move into those flats are probably moving to the city for those venues, and then you take them away one by one. So I think it's the support, and if those flats are going to be built, it's how, the last thing that should happen is the venue closed down. That should just be the last option, not the first. So I think changes to that, which obviously I know is a big discussion anyway. But yeah, I think ultimately without the venues, there's no events. At the moment we're in the Florrie, which is a community building in Liverpool. So we moved in here just after COVID. I've been in ever since. So we've got about a team of 35 to 40, which work in the office, which are full-time staff. We're in the office part-time. And then outside of that, we've got our hosts, dancers, drivers, technicians, etc. So in total, we're a company of around 110, and it's continuously growing. We've now got 17 hosts. Plus additionals and training. So at the moment we can do 17 shows per night. So, most of the time we are doing 38 to 40 shows a week, all around the country, both in the UK and in Dubai, which is our current only international show. Yeah, it's definitely been crazy 8 years. I mean, mentioned we went to Australia. I think doing that first tour, we kind of came away from it after all the challenges of gambling, and we were on this little boat in Sydney Harbour, kind of looking away and just going, wow, we've actually done this, we've done this. But I think personally for me, my biggest highlight is, when we did Bramley Moor Docks in Liverpool. It was one of our first large-scale shows, and I managed that from kind of the start to the end. It was police shows as well, which was really, really exciting. It was a huge risk for us. It was something our audience wasn't used to at all. We're usually in the comfort of venues, and a lot of our customers do wear heels or dress up nice, and then we're taken into docks where they've got to go in a portaloo, and it's kind of a warehouse space, but it was just amazing. It was absolutely incredible. It was so exciting. It was such hard work, and it was, we had huge support, from other people in the industry, some of whom work with us now. But I feel like that was really a moment where we were this is something we're doing ourselves, and it was outside of any venues that we'd worked with before, and it was just purely us. And that's kind of, I think, inspired us to do yearly, what we'll now be doing with the 8th birthday show. But yeah, that was a real moment. I think we kind of all looked at each other like this, this is really good, this is really cool.